And all the movements that we have learned until now, we have learned to define the 7 centers from the inner sense of the movement. We have learned to define it from the outer form, which is the outer mandala. We have learned how to release the spine forward and the suspended balance. And we have learned how to change the weight of the body or the movement of the body from symmetry into asymmetry. Now we are learning to learn the reverse of the mandala. So the first mandala they will learn is from the inner to the outer, and now we would like to learn from the outer all the way up eventually to the inner. To learn the outer mandala, we have to begin to learn the first sphere, which is called the sphere of earth. The sphere of earth is a sphere that originates in foundation, like all of the movements, and from foundation is a diamond, as you know. It unfolds into create a sphere that we call it earth. And this sphere, by the nature of the placement of the skeleton in space, allows the extension of my hands, as it defines the sphere, to be able to come through the top of the shoulder girdle, suspended in top of the rib cage, and in direct correlation to the pelvic floor. So from the feet of earth, if I begin to move extending into the outer mandala, then I begin to allow the pelvic floor to be the point of reference from which the spine can begin to become extended inside of its own three-dimensionality. The sphere of earth is crucial because without the sphere of earth, if I begin to extend the arms, I may innocently start creating pressure between the curves and the shoulders and on and on. So the sphere ensures that, biomechanically speaking, skeletal speaking, is that the form of the skeleton as it is suspending through the shoulder girdle in direct correlation to the pelvic floor allow the movement, as I said, to initiate as a wave through the spine at the same time that interconnect the arms and the shoulder girdle to all the vertebrae of the spine. Yeah? So let's start doing it for a little bit and let's just go through it. So we'll start in 0-point balance because that's where we ended the first whole movement. Yeah? And we're going to go to foundation and then we go to earth. So 5, 6, 7, and 8, inflowing wave, suspended balance, foundation, and now unfolding the diamond to earth. And just in earth, I want you to observe it for a moment because I'm a little bit in an inner arc. I'm a little bit like a circular within me. I am not extended like crown. Remember in crown, I'm the full extension of myself through the center of space. In earth, I'm a little bit like an inner circle. And the inner circle of earth allow me to experience the suspension of my shoulder girdles, as I said, the connection to the hip, and the connection to the floor via the legs. So this is earth. And then from earth, I come back again to foundation, again to earth, right here. It's a moment of suspension that allow me to express the spherical form of the forms of my arm. And this will be the other side of the periphery of the sphere. And the sphere, if this is the side of it goes the other way around as well, and the part around connects through my solar plexus and the center of my chest. So it allows me to release the chest inside of the sphere of earth. So I'm not creating compression, but I'm gently extending through it. So this is the sphere of earth. And then once I begin to extend my arms, as I begin in the sphere of earth, right here, the pelvic floor allow the direction to go to expansion. So I got to be in expansion from here, and then I descend again. I touch earth again, and I come back to foundation. Again, I'm unfolding. I touch earth right here. I follow the wave, and it will take me to expansion. Beautiful. I would like to show you a little bit what happened if I don't find earth. If earth becomes too much back, you see, the lifting of my arm shrinks me. So the sphere of earth allow me to extend through myself when I go into expansion. So in the practice of this, in the practice of the sphere of earth, and then the return from the sphere of earth, and the practice of touching earth as the beginning of the wave that is bringing me to expansion. Ensures that I am in the center of a space. So I will end up in expansion here, as opposed if I innocently I begin right here. You see, I will create resistance through it. So it's a direction that from the hip, the shoulders and the arm are clearly directed in order to provide the direction to the vertical extension. So the outer mandala, as it begins from foundation and from earth, touches expansion. And as it continues, it defines another sphere, which is called the sphere of heaven. From expansion, it encircles the sphere, and it becomes the sphere of heaven. The sphere of heaven is another sphere that goes around my heart, allow my spine to be extended. It releases the head and the crown up, and then the actual extension, right and left, in my arms and in my shoulders and chest, come from the hips and my legs. So from that, then I can return through the other mandala to touch expansion, through navigation to get to crown, and from crown return to earth to get a foundation in order to complete the motion. So let's do it again, because this could be complex, but we're going to make it very, very simple. In the beginning, I began the movement by always coming to foundation, and now I unfold the diamond to the sphere of earth, which is right here. I am a little bit of an inner arc. Then I return back into foundation, and then I touch the sphere of earth, and I unfold the wave to get me to expansion right here. This is a very good place for you to spend time sometimes, because you get to experience the strength that exists at the center of your heart. It's very, very powerful. Then from here you go to navigation, and you come back to crown, and then you return, and now from the sphere of earth I'm touching expansion, and in the moment that I touch expansion right here, I am encircling the sphere back into heaven. This is another place that is very important, because, as I said, it releases the rib cage, it connects you transversally, so this arm corresponds to this leg, and then when it opens, it goes to infinity, and it comes back through expansion right there, and it touches crown right here, and it touches foundation, and it completes the movement back into 0 point. Also, when we go in practicing the other mandala, what we're learning is that as we define the sphere of earth, and then from the sphere of earth we unfold to expansion, and we encircle the sphere to go to heaven, then when we're racing from expansion to heaven, we don't touch infinity, we encircle the sphere to go to heaven. Now when we're descending from there in the other mandala, then we rotate into infinity in order to open the two halves of the torso and to allow the vertebrae of the spine to expand as we descend to expansion and as we touch crown. So remember that when you're going through down to the outer mandala, you're going into expansion, you touch heaven, and then you unfold into infinity before you arrive into expansion and you arrive to crown. Yeah, very important. So now we're ready to practice the free releases.